Okay, so so we're back. I asked you at some point, it had came up on my iPad and said that I'd lost stream, but it said if I wanted to continue the stream. I thought it was just the camera that I had lost, so I lost you guys at some point. So you guys let me know where we got lost at, because like I said, we got lost at some point. So I'm going to exit out of this design space to see if that helps my internet here. All right, so I lost you guys at some point, so you guys let me know where we were at. As far as I know, I think I was still pulling the wood off here. So all I did was carefully come in and just kind of pop these out one at a time, and they came out pretty easy. So this is the balsa wood, so it's way thicker than the basswood. So hopefully you guys can see that. So I'm just going to kind of let you guys get back on here really quick before we start painting, to kind of let you guys kind of come back in. All right, like I said, I don't know where I lost y'all at, but obviously we haven't went any further than just taking these off the mat. On the snowman, okay, so I lost you when I was pulling the snowman off. Okay, so I think, let me know. So I think on the snowman, I was telling you guys that you can actually cut out, you know, like say 3 of these and just layer them right on top of each other. So I don't know if y'all heard that or not. I'm going to repeat it real quick. You were talking about stacking the snowman. Okay, thank you guys. Y'all are awesome. Okay, so the thing with the stacking of the snowman, you could cut out multiple of these. So I would say like 2 or 3 and then glue them together. That way you could create a thicker piece of wood if that's what you're wanting to do. So I would take, I mean, if you wanted it to be a little more sturdy, take 2 pieces of the basswood and put them on either side of the balsa wood. So that's just another tip of making things a little bit thicker if that's what you're needing to do. Okay, so that's where we were. So pulling these off was not bad at all. They were super easy. You just want to carefully get under them because this one is more brittle than, I'll kind of show you on a scrap piece here. So when it comes to balsa wood, it's not very forgiving. So if you kind of bend it too much, it's going to snap. So you just want to be super careful with it. So when you're pulling these off, you know how they can get sometimes and it could bend and snap. So be super careful when you're pulling them off. But here was our snowman, and you can see how thick that is. I don't know if I got to where I was showing you guys the thickness. This is the basswood, the thickest the basswood could cut, and this is the thickest on the balsa wood. So way thicker. So this is the thickest one, I believe. So we've got the penguin, the snowman, and then this is the circle that it cut out on for us. So I was saying, and I don't think you guys were here yet. Let's see, she bought it out. Yes, I bought it at Hobby Lobby. And I bought it, it's in strips of 6 by 36. And like I said, don't cut it, just kind of leave the length hanging off the end of that 24 mat. That way you could come in later and cut it and then put it back on there. All right, so, you know, Cricut, when they write on stuff, it doesn't fill it in, but this would be a great time to come in and fill that in with paints or paint pens or just any pen, as well as, you know, just what I'm wanting to try to do is, and that'll be or not. So say that I left this on the mat. I did not take it off. I painted these, and then I want to be able to load them back on and then act like I'm, you know, that I'm doing the same image, but I would add in the font. It'll make sense when I do the video. But that way I can place it back inside the wood, and then I wouldn't have it cut. I would just have it right, and it should right perfectly back where that belongs. So that way you could paint your stuff, write on your little reindeer and stuff like that. So that way if you wanted to add somebody's name here, I'm thinking that would possibly work. So let's get started. So this is where I was whenever I lost you guys. So the paint that I'm using today is this FW acrylic paint. You could use any acrylic paint. The paint that I actually would have used for this project would have been just the 50-cent or $1, you know, the acrylic paint from Walmart. But I did not bring those from the house, and I did not bring my heat gun, so hopefully these will dry pretty quickly so I could keep adding on layers, because I guess I did not realize that I have not brought that over here yet, so it's still at the house. But these are the acrylics I'm using. So if you scored these off the clearance at Hobby Lobby a while back, you could put these to use. Now I know that I keep freezing, so I'm using those. I'm going to use like some just white paint. Some, you know, I think this is like the titanium white to get that bright white. This is one's for Brie Reese. And then I also got a couple other, I'm trying to get over here, you guys, so you guys can see these. I got a couple other types of acrylics I'm going to use. So I have these Brie Reese ones right here. I also scored off the clearance before. I'm going to utilize these, as well as some of this illustrated faith paint that I have. So basically, any acrylic paint that you have. All right. So let's see, let me make sure I can, yes, also wood burn as well. I'm so glad you said that because I was wanting to make that a point as well. I'm hoping my computer, there we go. So let's see, I can wood burn in the markings, yes, and then paint with oil color. That is awesome. But I'm so glad you brought that up, Guadalupe, because I wanted to mention that you could wood burn these as well. That would be super cute. So Guadalupe, if you do that, you're gonna have to share a picture with all of us. Okay, so let's get started and figure out what I wanna do first. I think I'm gonna mess with, let's see if I don't, I'm trying to decide who I wanna mess with first. Maybe I'll paint these and start paint a brown on here. So what I'm gonna do, let me grab it. So you guys have seen that I have kind of converted my Cricut, and I showed you guys in the last video where to find this. You want to type in, I think was it Teflon sheet? Help me out, guys, in case I can't remember, but you'd want to look up Cricut. It's where the iron on. It's on the very last page of the iron on material, but you don't have to have this. You could have any of the Teflon. I actually own the Tim Holtz media mat, but I don't like to use it because it glares off in my videos. But I have converted this to my painting area here, so I'm going to use this so I can paint on there. And then also, I forgot to mention too, I almost forgot here, hold on. I'm going to be using some enamel right here, some of these right here by Ranger. I'm going to be using some of these stickles and stuff like that as well, because I could use a super cute pink for the nose, and then you can use the black and the whites for the eyes and the dots. So these as well I'm going to utilize to give it some of that three-dimensional look as well. And then I may come in with my Wink of Stella and my white pen at some point and my black pen. I may use a pencil to start drawing in my stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me grab my paint, my water here. Make sure y'all can see this good. And then I've got my paint brushes. I just using the little cheap paint brushes. And then also when we're done with these, I was actually going to have, we're about to find out. I was going to have my Cricut cut little circles out in these. But if you own the Crocodile, or even any type of little small circle punch, that's what I'm going to use to punch these holes in since I forgot. Then you can run some little cute ribbon through there to hang them on the tree. Yarn, whatever you have. So there's that. So let's go ahead and get started here. So let me get my paint here. Let me find me a brush that I want to use. This one is from Ranger. It's just their little basic set. They have like a set of 10 or 7 or something like that. And what I'm going to do is go ahead. I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to paint it first with a white to kind of prime it up a little bit and then go back over it. Well, let's test it on the first guy. So let's see. I think I'm going to go in with this color here. This one is Flesh Tint, and I think this will be a good color for him. So I'm going to color his whole body first. So what I can either do is drip it right on top. I'm afraid the wood will absorb it, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just kind of get it on my mat here a little bit. And then let me see my paper towel here. All right. Then all I'm going to do is just dip into that paint and then just start painting it. So here's our cute little gingerbread guy. But this will be a fun project too for the kids that are home during like Thanksgiving break, because it'll be before Christmas. Get a bunch of these cut out and let the kiddos sit at the table and paint them up however they want to and hang them on your tree. I think that would be a ton of fun. And you want to, if you don't want this to end up on the back, you'd want to kind of move it a little bit. I can use I'm going to use my little Cricut spatula here to kind of hold the middle of him here while I paint the other side of his body. There we go. Aren't you guys glad that I noticed that I lost y'all a long time ago and brought you back over here? Because that would have been awful. All right. So there he goes. So that's his first coat. Kind of touch that up there. All right. So I've got the first coat of our gingerbread man. And then I was thinking, what I'm going to do, let me show y'all really quick. So when you go to paint these, if you're not, like I'm not a super big artist or anything like that, and you need an idea, I'm going to switch y'all just a second. Let me bring y'all over to the Google. I'm going to show y'all how I figured this out, how I'm going to paint my stuff. So let me bring y'all over here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in, say, gingerbread man. So gingerbread man, and what I would do is type in wood painted. That way you can kind of see that wood painted look. Hit enter. And like I said, you may, and also another tip is you could also put vinyl on here. So you could print out the vinyl on these, the same size to fit in here. Those would be awesome as well. So images, I'm going to come to images, and then I'll just scroll through till I kind of see a guy that I like. So say, I found a really cute one earlier. Let me see if I can't find him. It may have been that one up there, but we're about to find out. Where'd it go? So like these right here, just to kind of see that face, and then I can put the lines in. There was another one, hold on. Where'd it go? Like this one's super cute. Look at this one. So adorable, just to kind of get the look of that face and stuff. And then you can kind of go on the body pretty much on your own if you wanted to. You could cut out felt pieces like this to fit on them. But there was one that I really chose that was super cute. I think it was this one maybe. I'm going to try to attempt something like this, and then I will go back and get the little things on his hands and feet. So just so y'all know, that's what I'm trying to paint here. So bear with me. So let's switch back over here so y'all can see this. And during in between, what I'll probably do, so that way I'm not making a big old mess here, so I'm kind of done. I need to leave that there just in case I need it for another one. But like this piece right here from his body, I'm going to wipe that up with baby wipes kind of in between here, just so I'm not making a huge mess here and I can add some other colors in. All right. I'm not going to paint all of these on here just so it don't take all day, but basically y'all kind of get an idea of it, I guess. All right. So let's go in with the eyes first. So let me get my black paint out here. I could always use the dots, but I'm going to use probably the white to do the dots. And so let's go ahead. Let me get some black going on my thing here. Just like that. And I'm going to switch to a smaller brush, like a really tiny brush. I think this one should be good. All right, so I'm going to switch to a littler brush. And I'm going to go ahead and get her eyes and mouth done first. And you got to remember, because this one's kind of like it's running and stuff, but so I may need to change the mouth up just a little bit. We'll see. So I'm going to dip into that black paint, and I'm just going to bear with me because the Lord knows what this is going to come out, because I'm rolling with it. So I'm going to give me some eyes going here. And they'll really come to life once we get that white in there. So of course I made one bigger than the other, so I have to come back. All right, there we go. Then I will wipe that off so I can have a little bit more control here. I'm going to come back and go ahead and get her mouth in here and her eyebrows. So I'm going to kind of do something like that. All right, and then I think, okay, the eyebrows. And then we'll come back. I may have to let her dry just a little bit and then come back to her here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of these eyebrows going like that. All right, that's good enough. So I'll kind of let that dry a little bit, and then we'll come back in with that white and stuff. But I could probably go ahead and get that red going for her cheeks, which I was thinking about using this pink dots here. So we're about to figure that out here really quick. Maybe I could get, so I'm going to come back in. This is still a really small brush. I'm going to come back in with this pink. Where's it? Nope, the red. I think I'm going to add just a tiny bit of red, and then I'm going to add that pink in with it. So I say that, and then I may not do it. Now with these ones right here from Breweries, you could just kind of push it on just the same way that you would do with the enamels. You could make dots or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get that going just a little bit. I added a little bit of water to it to make it a little bit more watery. And then I'm going to go ahead and get her cheeks going here. Add a little bit more water. So this is like mostly water when it came to this red. So you can probably even do this with your watercolors as well. I almost did that too. But basically me adding the water is making it more like a watercolor here. All right, adding in my other cheek. All right, something like that. And then I need to come back to that black here in a little bit. Whenever we get the white stuff going, I need to add some tiny little eyelashes on here. So, and I actually I'm just going to go ahead and attempt it now. So I'm going to barely dip in here and try to get these little tiny eyelashes in. Nope, you know what? I'm not even going to do it. I'm going to do that with a black pen, just so I can be a little bit more controlled of that. And I almost forgot her little nose. So I'm going to go ahead and come back in here a little bit and get her nose. just like that. All right, now I probably will come in with, like I said, those enamel dots here in a little bit and get some of that pink in there and stuff as well. So the eyes are going to take just a little bit, and of course, like I said, I didn't bring my heat gun. I think I'm going to come in with white. I'm trying to figure out, so I think I can actually go around and go ahead and get her hands and feet and stuff like that. But I was wanting to come around with a little bit of a darker brown. Where did it go? I think this is, where'd it go? Somewhere over here. I'm going to try to go around the edges just a little bit to bring it in a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of brown and get that water going and see. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to, I guess it's like I've turned into an art lesson here, but anyways, basically, I'm just trying to show you guys, if you guys want to make it a little bit more like dimensional, I guess, give it some contour. So basically what I'm going to do with this brown, and I may come in and add a little bit of red to that just to kind of give it this certain color here. I think that'll be good. All right, come back in with that water so I can kind of bring it out. I'm just going to try to go around like the edging here of the whole thing. And I'm trying not to like do a whole straight line, that way it's not, so just trying to blend it in a little bit. And what I could actually do is come back into some of this color from the body and kind of drag it around like that. I need to add some more water here to get it going. And like I said, dipping back into, just so I can kind of blend it out a little bit. Lord knows what this is going to look like. I already told y'all. But basically, if you're an artist, this is going to work very well for you. Because usually if I was going to do something like this, I'd really take my time paying attention to what the picture kind of looks like. And I've really not blended on, so maybe take some plain water. Let me try that. Take some plain water and maybe try to pull that in just to kind of blend that out. That works a lot better. So if you come in with some plain water before it really dries, you can kind of pull that around just like that. Hopefully you guys can see that. And it kind of helps blend that out. So let me get this a little bit more, and then we'll try to work on another little guy in the meantime while we wait for him or her to dry. And then I'll check on comments there. So I'm just kind of blending that out a little bit, add a little bit more into the, now I wouldn't want to get it too crazy wet because wood would warp. So, and I have a feeling somebody's already said that in the comments, because that's the way it works. We all think alike, don't we? All right, so let's finish going around. I'm just kind of messily now, just kind of getting it on here, speeding this up a little bit. And then I'm going to try and blend that out a little bit. Without touching his eyes or eyebrow. All right, that's good enough. It's looking like something. All right, now I could come back at the very end. I may come in with like a black pen and go trace around the entire thing. So like I said, we're gonna let that dry for just a second. So we're gonna scoot it out. All we really have left is the white. So we're gonna set this out of the way and check out the next one. I'm gonna show y'all gluing on. I better get my hot glue gun going really quick so I can show y'all gluing this together, which, I mean, I could use probably another glue, but I don't know. I think it'd be best to try the hot glue just because camera purposes, so in case I need to like stack stuff on it to get it to dry. So I'm gonna get my glue gun, so bear with me guys, and then I'll check on comments. I'm gonna get this plugged in really quick. All right. Just like that. So, let me move that out of my way. And let's go ahead. This is what we're going to do now. So, let's figure out how this guy's going to work. Whoop. See, you got to be careful because I just about broke off, which I can glue his ear. So you got to be careful. Which luckily that's going to glue on top of this one, so it'll be okay. So I think I'm trying to figure out. Let me see how I'm going to do that. So we may do like dark brown, like a lighter brown on this one. So I'm going to come back and paint those white. Y'all can't see that. So I think I'm going to do dark brown, a lighter brown, because we're going to come in between and I can touch to make those white. And then, let's see, I'm trying to think here. I may do this more of a white, this piece right here, if I can figure out how it goes. I'll probably do this like a white. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to get this done first. Let's get this white and get it out of the way. So get me some white going on here. I'm using that titanium white. You could use whatever you have. And let me go ahead and come over to comments and make sure. All right, let's see. Hopefully you guys are still here again and I didn't lose you guys. I think so. Let me know if you guys are still here. So that way I'm not letting this go without you guys seeing what's going on. All right, so some white here. All right, let me get this cleaned here, and I'm going to just go into that white, get that done, and then we'll move on to the lighter and then the darker. So this should be good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and come into this white acrylic here, and I'm just going to paint this part of the face here that's going to be white. And I'm going to make sure I get down in the eye pieces here. Just like that. All right, we are here. Okay, thank you so much, Amanda. All right. Thank you, Kimberly. And thank you so much, Carol. Okay, so you guys are there. I was like, oh no, don't tell me I lost y'all again. All right, so I'm just painting this top piece white really quick, just kind of basically going around, making sure I'm touching the edges. Hopefully you guys can see this and I'm not out of frame. I'm gonna come back and clean this up. I got a bunch of white paint built up in there. All right, so that should probably be good. Just like that. I'm going to set that one out of my way, and I'm going to wipe this up. I'm going to use that same brown I used on the gingerbread to paint that top piece of her that I said I was going to be lighter. Thank you so much, Guadalupe. All right, here we go. So I'm going in with that lighter color that I used on the gingerbread man, and all I'm going to do is just painting this part of the face. So after we do this 3D layer one here, I'm going to go ahead and go into coloring in the one with the name, and then we'll probably shut it down because I know I'm like having you guys on here forever. I think we're going like, how long has this one been going? 20 minutes. The other one was like 49 or something. So like 2 hours here, but that's all right. All right, so there we go. Just getting that done. Being careful of that ear I've done broke, but like I said, I'm going to be able to glue it back. So we're going to squish that one out of the way, and I'm going to come in with this darker brown. All right. And where did I do it there? Get that darker brown going again. And now I'm just going to paint this little piece right here. All right, just like that. And a little bit more here. acrylic paints and stuff. Like you watch those people on YouTube coloring and stuff, and it's like they can have a tiny little dot and it'll last them the entire thing. And it's like I use a dot and it just goes like on one layer. You know what I mean? Do you guys have that same problem? It's like, how do y'all get it to spread so far? All right, and I'll get a little bit more of that going. And then if I put a lot, then I end up wasting it. And it's like, how does this happen? All right, so what I'm doing is just kind of going in around those edges. Kind of just getting those so that way it's not bare wood. And I could always just kind of dip into some water in that. That way it's just kind of giving it a wash there. But just so it's not plain, that really light looking wood there. All right. There we go. So there is the bottom part. So now you guys can see that. Now I think I should be able to glue these pretty quickly. So we're fixing to do that. So let me go ahead and wipe this up again. So that way, and you could always just use water in your paper towel or whatever you use, but I always just keep these baby wipes on hand. One day I went to Kroger and these ones right here were on clearance for like 25 cents or something, but it was the big packages of like 4 together. So I usually buy them when they're on the sale. Like I think Kroger does, like sometimes they end up being a quarter or whatever they are, 50 cents, $1. I don't have small ones anymore, so I really don't know what they should cost. So this is going to go on that just like that. And then where'd she go? This white one is going to go on top just like that. And then after I get them down, I'm going to come in and get these dots and stuff, so that way I know exactly when they're going to line up correctly. So that's what I would do. So let me show you how we're going to do this. These are pretty much dry and ready to go. So I think my hot glue should be ready. All right, so all I'm going to do, and you'll have to kind of work quickly if you're working with hot glue, because you know how that is. I think I'm going to invest, because I don't have any on me today, some wood glue for these. See, and I finally broke her little ear off, so I'll have to glue that separately. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get me some glue going on the back of this really quick. And pop that down. Nope, it dried too quickly. I knew that was going to happen. That's the only thing I think, is I've got my air conditioner going. We're going to switch glues. We're going to switch glues. Because I don't think that's going to work today, just because of the, so that way if you guys don't have something, you guys will know this will work, because we're about to find out. I'm going to take some Mod Podge. So that's what we're going to use. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit down on my mat here. That way I can just dip into it. So I usually just get some down on my mat like that whenever I'm working with Mod Podge, because I do, you know, like doing the wood stuff. All right, so I'm just going to take a little brush and paint it on the back of this wood piece here. Trying to get me a good layer of it going. And you want to put it on the back of like the one that has the holes, because if you put it all over him, it's just going to cover him up. I'm trying to pick off any pieces of that other glue, because it's going to make it pop up. All right, so we're using Mod Podge. We're going to find out if it's going to work. Get some on his leg. Get some on that ear. Go back over that face just a little bit more like that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is just take my brown piece here and try not to make a mess of this. Pop it down. Like I said, it would be better if you guys have wood glue, but I did not. All right, so just like that, and now I'm going to glue his other piece of his ear down that I done broke off, because it wouldn't be alive without it, right? Okay, pop that piece in, just like that. All right, now that I have that, what I'm going to do is take, where's my white piece? Oh, right here. All right, so I'm going to take that white piece, get it on the back of this one as well. I was thinking as well, another glue that you could use, and I set it out before I started, but I had forgot, is Glossy Accents. I'm thinking that would work as well, and that's probably the one I should have went with. And then I even had E6000 I probably could have used as well. So all I'm going to do now is pop down her little face right there. Trying to make sure I'm getting it on there right. I think just like that. All right. So what I'm going to do to make sure those glue together really well is I want to set something on top of it. So I'm going to set it aside and put my Mod Podge bottle on top so it can dry. But that's what it's looking like so far with her layers when you build it up. And then you can come in and detail her and all that stuff, and it'd be super, super cute. Let's see. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe this up again. And now we're going to come in and use use something to color this in. And I want to try, I'm trying to think which one I want to use. I brought a black pen over here. This one right here is like Indian ink, and I think that's what I'm going to try. Let me see how fat that is though. Yeah, I think that should be okay. Make sure it would fit in between there. And let me get some of this off my hands before we jump into that. And then we'll come back and we'll detail Mr. Gingerbread Man's face. And then we'll kind of wrap it up that way. You guys kind of get the point though of, you know, just you're going to just color them in. But like I said, I think it still would be super fun for the kiddos during any of these breaks right here. So there we go. So I'm just making sure all that kind of stuff is out of my way there. All right, so which one? Okay, we're doing this one. So here is our circle. So here's our circle. And I'm thinking you could use anything. You could probably even use Tombows. And what I'll do after I write this in, I'll come back with some Tombows and maybe fill in like the 2018 some watercolor paints, or just, we'll figure it out. I wonder about even glossy accents because it would make it pop out. Which should we try to figure out, guys? What do you guys think? Let's see. The face on the deer would look so cute with a light pink for a little girl. Oh, that would be so cute. That would be cute. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out, because I want to try this with as much stuff as I can. So let's try to, I'm going to do it with this pen right here, which is an Indian ink, which you just could use a black marker or whatever you have. And then 2018, I'm going to fill it in with some stickles or some gloss, some enamel accents. That's what we're going to do for that, to kind of give it some dimension, just so we could play with a couple of different things. So let me zoom y'all in just a little bit more, and hopefully you guys can see this, and we'll kind of try to get it going. So I'm going to shake this up and get some of that ink out there. All right, so here we go. So what I'm going to do is try to, hopefully you guys will be able to see this. My hand's probably going to be all up in the way, but we'll see. I'll kind of go over it, maybe move. So all I'm going to do is now I can just go in. Yep, that is going to bleed. But like I said, learn from my mistakes. Indian ink is going to spread like crazy. Don't do that. Stick with acrylic or enamel. So let's try the enamel really quick and try to do that and see what it would look like. Like I said, at least, because that would really stink if you guys tried something. So I wouldn't try this with like a watercolor either, because it's going to spread like that. Because of this ink that it's wrote with is not waterproof. So like I said, that way you guys don't sit here and work your tail end off making all these and then mess up. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like sometimes I really love that you guys get to see my hot messes, if you will. Okay, so I'm going to come in with my black glossy my enamel accents here. Well, actually, no, because you would want like a red. Obviously, it's Christmas. You wouldn't want it black, you know? Let me get me another needle. If your enamel accents ever, which I'm sure you guys already know, I just take a needle here and just kind of pop it in so that way it works good. And then I always like to test it before I get started, because sometimes it just globs out. So what I'm going to do now is come in and see if I can't trace this with my enamel accents. Yeah, that's cute. And then like I said, it makes it three-dimensional. Then you have the black outline from the Cricut pen. This is looking cute. So definitely don't recommend using like your black Indian ink if you carry those. Probably not even a black, I don't know if it would still bleed, but anything that's kind of got a lot of water liquid to it, don't try to use that, because with this pen it's just going to bleed, which I should have thought about beforehand, but hey. So there we go. There is Christmas with the that is with the enamel accents, and like I said, that's going to kind of give it a little bit of a 3D. And then let's see, where's my glitter one? Here's a glitter one. We are going to use the glitter one next. Hopefully you guys will be able to tell a difference in these two, because I'm using both red. And then this one is the stickles. So I'm going to come in. Yeah, that would be cute. And like I said, you could come in and paint, and if you could really, with just the acrylics, like I said, I wouldn't do anything water because it's going to make it bleed. And then just kind of go over this, because if you can faintly, hopefully, still see this through, you could also do that as well. Well, you could pre-paint it first. Or you could kind of carefully go around it, but that's what that looks like. So you can see that stickles. Hopefully you can see. I'm trying to move it carefully so it don't freeze. You can see that glitter, and then you can see that. But see how bad that bled just by using that pen? It was way too much liquid, and it just really went out crazy. And not pretty crazy. You guys can see how like it just fuzzed out, if that makes sense. That would be super cute. But before you got started doing that, you could carefully go around everything with your acrylic paint. So let's say the white one here. So you could carefully go in and paint that before you had went in with the stick, so you can get the whole outside layer, if that makes sense. Let's see, test on a scrap piece. Yeah, I should have did that. That was smart, Kimberly. Test on a scrap piece, yes, because that's going to save you. So whatever you're going to be using, do a scrap piece, because that's what I should have did first. And you probably said that before I got started. So, all right, so there that is. And let's go back to, and I forgot to, so that didn't even glue good. I forgot to put the Mod Podge on top. So he kind of popped up a little bit. So make sure you put that to hold it down into place before you get started. But let me go back in. But basically, you get the point. I'm just going to leave that, and I'll finish gluing him back here in a minute. But you get the point. You want to have, I would really stick to wood glue if you're going to be doing any of the three-dimensional, just to save yourself. And I don't think it's very expensive. I would just grab some wood glue and put these together and then set something heavy on them, so that way they can really adhere. But I'm just not even going to mess with it anymore, so we don't waste any more time. But you get the drift. So let's go back in over here to this one. So let me switch back over here so I can look to see what we were doing, because I can't even remember. Where'd it go? All right, I've lost that one, but I found another one that's really kind of cute. So let's see here. So we're on this one, and I'm going to take, this time, I'm taking that white enamel accents, which is right here. All right, so I'm going to take another pen. Before I get started, I always do that before I go on something and it blobs everywhere. So I'm just getting my pen going. All right, so here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and just put, and this won't bleed anywhere since it's enamel accents. It's going to stay right where you put it. So I'm going to go ahead and get my dots going here. And then there was like a little line here. Like I said, I'm using Google Images to kind of look at another one. So carefully, I'm not squeezing, I'm just dragging on that white a little bit, like that. And then we've got, and I'll come back in just a second, add those pieces of white. I'm going to go ahead and add a little white dot here and here. And then we're going to add in some squiggle lines. Like that. And then we'll get some on our hands. Hopefully you guys can see this, and I haven't had my hand in the way the whole time. So I'm going to get like that. And then go ahead and get some down here. All right, like that. And then I could come in if I wanted to. Let me see if I'm going to see if my white gel pen works on here, which 1/6 scrap, like you said, because that's pretty smart. All right, it looks like it is. So I've already got it ready to go. So what I'm going to do is kind of maybe add in some white lines like this. Maybe just a little bit here to kind of give it like that extra dimension. So I'm just kind of adding in a couple white lines like that. Now I could come back too and add a couple little dots if I wanted to, but so far, isn't that cute? It's got a little bit of a hot mess, but don't judge. And then I'm going to come back in with, I don't think I have a black pen. Let me double check really quick. Hold on one second. I'm going to test something really quick on that scrap wood. Okay, this one's not going to run. This is the Tombow. Let me put y'all back on here, my mic. This is the Tombow, I don't know which one it is, but anyways, you can get these at Hobby Lobby. It comes like 2 in a package, Tombow pins. So I'm going to just use this one, but you could use like a black gel pen, but I don't have one currently right now. Let's see. Let me go ahead and check your guys' comments real quick. Let's see. Let's see. This would be so cute. On my tree, I would use my, I'm trying to read across the table, small drills a bit for the hole. Yes, I'm fixing to show you the hole, so I'm actually glad you said that, but that's pretty smart to use your drill bit. And then Kimberly said, yeah, a Dremel might work. Well, that is smart. Yes, it might, right? Okay, so you guys are talking to each other with that. Okay, good, good, good. So we're wrapping it up here. So all I'm going to do is take this pin here to get that fine detail of the eyelashes. So that way I have those little bitty eyelashes like this. So that way, because with a, you know, with a, like a paintbrush, it's kind of hard sometimes to get it this thin. So just like that. So that pin was pretty safe doing that. All right. And then I almost forgot. She should have a little piece of white on her nose. Let me do that really quick. Where'd you go? I'm going to put a little white dot on her nose as well. I keep saying her, him. It could be whichever. All right, just like that. Super cute. So there it is. Like I said, you guys can kind of play around with these and just create them however you want to. And then I'll try to get some of these painted up and put a picture on my Instagram so you guys can kind of see them completed. But like I said, this was 4 minutes. When we cut out the penguin, the circle, and the snowman, that was 4 minutes. So it just depends on, and that's balsa wood. Basswood took an hour and a half, but I stopped it. Remember, you can stop it ahead of time. So let's see, that's adorable. Looks good enough to eat. Oh, thank you so much, Carol. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Okay, so before I forget, I almost forgot, and I just got reminded there by Guadalupe. I'm going to move this one because it's wet, and I don't want to do it on this one. But let's try on this. Well, that one's, we're going to try both kinds of wood. So we're going to try this kind of wood and this one. So let me zoom y'all. Let me move this because it's a mess. It's a nightmare. I'm just making a mess. All right, we're going to move that out of our way just a little bit like this. All right, so here we go. So here is our balsa wood, basswood. So we're going to try and use our crocodile here. So what I'm going to do here is unlock it first of all. All right, and I've got y'all zoomed in so y'all can see. I'm going to use the bigger hole here, which is the inch, I guess. It says inch and then centimeter. So I'm going to use the inch. And what I'm going to do is I want to figure out where that hole is going to go, and it fits in there perfectly. So say I want my hole somewhere about here. I'm going to adjust it down so that way I don't go in too far. All right, and then I'm going to get that there, and let's see. This one, let's see if it'll clip through it. And it did. So there's our hole. So if you've got the crocodiles, it's going to work great. So that is the basswood. Now let's try the balsa because it's a little bit thicker. First of all, your wood is, where to go? Hold on, I'm always losing stuff. I'm going to take my little Cricut tool and pop that wood back out of there. Just because it's a little bit thicker, it's going to stay. So I've got that out. Now I froze a minute, so I'm going to wait for it to clear up. It looks frozen on my side. All right, here we go. So it's unfroze. So here we go. So once again, I've got it ready to where I want it. This is the balsa wood, and it's going to come right through it like nothing. Hopefully y'all seen that. But anyways, there it is. So there's your holes. So when you get done with it, like I said, you can just do it right before or after, but this one's still wet, so I didn't get to play around. But there it is. And then, like I said, you really want to make sure you pile something on here and have wood glue, because this one turned into a little bit of a hot mess. And I know I froze again. And like I said, I broke her ear. I've really got to work on her and get her back down. So just be careful when you're messing with those. Use the wood glue. Put something super heavy on it. And let me switch my camera back. Here is the one. So I want to thank you guys for staying with me today. I know it ended up being 2 lives, and both of these are about an hour long a piece. But I truly appreciate you guys being here. It means a lot. And I thank you guys for working with each other, answering each other's comments and stuff like that. If you have any questions, just leave them down below and I'll try to answer them. But we worked with balsa wood today and basswood, so I hope this helps somebody that's been wanting to play with it but was a little too intimidated with the times. I do recommend to make sure that your internet is good. I know I'm probably freezing here. I'm checking. Make sure your internet's good to go whenever you go to do these, because if it's going to be an hour so long, you don't want it to mess up. Make sure you keep whatever device you're using on and don't go to sleep. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.